What's your thoughts on the protein that we're using right now with the no flavor?
I like it. I mean, it's kind of why I chose it. No flavor, because it's just the flavorings is just where everything is funky.
Sure.
So it just added processed stuff into it. So I just decided to get unflavored, and I just mixed cacao powder in for the flavoring because it's a little bit more natural and not whatever they're using.
I kind of like it because I think then you can mix and match. Like I'll get sick of the flavors. Like if we would just get chocolate or vanilla, it's like after a while you're excited for the next flavor, to where every day I can do something different. Like if I mix it with berries, it actually tastes like berries, not chocolate and vanilla with berries.
Yeah.
Or even the other day I did it with the rest of the watermelon.
Oh,
That was good. Like doing like a sweet or like a more tart,
yeah.
unusual type of fruit.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Yeah. I think that's the nice part about the unflavored is you can mix it up. I just don't like all the flavorings and stuff. It's like, you know, you go to a protein shake type thing or protein powder, and it's, you know, it's processed, and I like to try to stay away from that as much as I can, but it's hard to get enough protein just through eating and meat and stuff like that without, I don't know, going broke basically. But the protein powders seem to be a big pack of the punch for your protein. 25 grams is the one that we have, but then you're kind of getting all the stuff that comes along with it that's not that great, and one of the things being all the flavorings. It's like cookie dough, peanut butter, all these fake flavors that aren't real. It's like, well, I don't want all that junk to come with it. And some of it too is like, you know, people have a hard time with whey protein. Their stomach feels weird from it, and I was just like, well, maybe try it without the flavorings, because it could
I haven't
be
had
that.
any issues with that one.
Yeah.
I should
That's
say
also like 100% grass fed.
Yeah.
So I think there's that element to it too. But like, it's just all the junk. It's the added flavors and all that sort of stuff. And the more that you can strip that stuff away from anything, your whole diet, I think you start to realize that it's not, I have a gluten intolerance. It's all the crap that comes with it.
Mm-hmm.
And especially like our wheat being sprayed with a bunch of crap, you know, and then it's pesticides, herbicides, and then it gets in the flour, and then you're digesting or eating that flour, and it's not that you're gluten intolerant, it's that your body doesn't react well to pesticides. That's what it is. So then you go get, you know, organic flour, and all of a sudden you don't really have the issues. It's like, yeah, because it wasn't ever the flour.
I think that's what is nice. I've been thinking about that the last couple of days, of the knock on eating healthier. Like we've had episodes talking about the raw milk and the raw dairy, and most people, especially I think in the female space, are like, stay away from dairy at all costs, because that's what's going to cause skin issues. That's what's going to cause your like, hormonal stuff to get all out of whack.
Which is crazy, because like hormones are fueled by fat and lipids. And
I know. So I am all on the dairy train now.
you got on the milk truck?
Yeah. Like also I want to say we are back on Instagram, full force doing that, and we are on TikTok now. So maybe you could put the handles on both. But on the videos that I've been posting and looking at hashtags, and one I did with the raw milk, one of them that keeps popping up as a popular one is raw milk revolution. I'm hoping that this is enough of a trend where more people are getting exposed to it. It's one thing to, you know, switch over and do that yourself, but I think to just have, that's where the negative side of food that we get, I think that's how we can overpower it and fight it per se, is just through information. Because then at least you know about it. You maybe are making tiny bits of changes that are better. You might not be buying raw milk or buying raw everything with the dairy aspect, but it's still the awareness of it. But what I was saying is I think the knock is because it's hard to find and it's expensive. I think because it's becoming potentially more popular and more common knowledge, it will then become in more common places, which I think would be cool. But then expense part of it, why I think living in a certain way with this health mindset that we're in right now, I would then just not have dairy then anymore.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for that, to where, okay, we have certain things that are maybe higher quality or more expensive, but we also don't eat a plethora of things. So I think it just makes your nutrition and your awareness of nutrition easier, because then you just have to focus on less things.
Oh yeah, totally.
Versus you go in someone's fridge, they might have oat milk and almond milk and regular milk, and do I have whole milk or skim milk, and then what do I use for what? It's like, just keep it simple. This is the only thing I have. It's the same product every single time at the grocery store. You know what you're going to get. There's not like, well, is this flavoring bad, or I don't know what these ingredients are. You just kind of eat the same things. And the simplicity of that, I think, is helpful for myself, but I think is helpful for people in a space that is, I think, talked about being confusing.
Yeah. Well, I think it's like what you say all the time, of the less decisions that you have to make, it seems like the less stress you then have. So it's like if you're able to just eliminate how many decisions you have to make all the time, you're going to be probably better off. And especially when it comes to the diet and nutrition type of stuff, it's like it is so confusing, because you just, I don't know. It's weird. Like, all I can think, probably because I'm rereading this book about the stock market, is it's like, it used to be, it's like that, but way back when, like, people would just like hear stock tips on the train, or like their uncle would say like, oh, buy this stock. And it's like, based on what? That's what the nutrition, like health and nutrition is now. It's like people just say like, oh, I heard that like cheese is really good for you, actually. It's like, okay, where'd you hear that from?
Yeah.
What basis? It's like people just blurting stuff out. And like you said, the more information that you can gather from it, the less decisions you have to make, and the simpler it becomes, to where, like you said, with the dairy stuff, it's like, if we weren't getting raw milk or raw dairy, we just wouldn't get it anymore, because, you know, it's not a ginormous staple in our life, or it's just like, it doesn't, the pasteurized and all that kind of stuff, we just, our view on it just doesn't benefit you really, with all of the bacteria that's killed off and everything like that. So they're one decision down. It's like, now you can move along. And with when it comes to the protein powder too, it's like, I'd love to not have that and get all my protein from meat, but meat is expensive, and protein powder is cheaper per ounce than like getting more meat. So if it ever came to a point where we're able to like raise our own animals and do that sort of thing, I would then probably get off protein powder if I'm able to consume enough meat, and it's cheaper for us overall to do it too. It's just right now, it's like we have to buy all of our food. We don't have a farm to, you know, raise animals and grow crops and stuff like that. So it's like, I'm just going to do this for right now. But hopefully in the future, that can be something where I don't have any processed foods in my diet at all. But you got to take some good with the bad. It's like, at this point, I kind of feel like the added 25 grams of protein to get me closer to my protein target is worth the downside
powder delivery
of it.
mechanism.
Yeah, the downside of it being processed and all that kind of stuff. So that's the little give and take you got to play. But I think you should try to minimize that as much as possible. Like, that is one of the few things that's highly processed that we eat. So it's like, okay, one out of the whole diet is a highly processed source. Okay.
That and the creatine, maybe?
Yeah, the creatine with it. So it's like, I'll take that. But if my whole diet is that, I'm waking up and it's a, you know, bagel with cream cheese, and then it's
You're really on this bagel with cream cheese thing.
You brought it up in the last episode.
I did?
Yes. Oh. It's the bagel with cream cheese, and then
when is the last time you had a bagel with cream cheese?
I can't.
Years, probably?
Yeah, I can't remember the last time I had a bagel.
I love bagels.